I've just clicked go live, by the way, right? So, and it has just come up that we are live. Good evening, Super League. It's Friday night. What are we doing? It's Friday night. It's not usually a Super League on a Friday. Well, this Friday there is, and I'm delighted to be joined by Dudley Hill boss Steve. How you doing, Steve?
Very good, mate. Good to get something on here. I know you've had a couple of tough days, but
Oh,
I'm massively looking forward to the quick fire fly through.
yeah, that was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Just yeah. I mean, that's in the past now, isn't it? That's just work, isn't it? Let's get over that. We're over it now. It's Friday. I've got a glass of wine in me. I've got the Super League up. It's going to be a good night. Good evening to those who've joined us in the chat. I can see we've got a few in already. Jens, Greaves is in. Dimble, evening Dimble. We've got Duggan and Wooder from the Dragons. We've got Mr. Megahorse of the Swemp FA. Looking forward to seeing the Bolton Phoenix cruise to another victory later on, mate. And good luck on the first live stream tonight. Um, Mr. Edwards is in the chat. Rob Slough, evening Rob. And Alf, evening Alf. I'm glad that you saw the link. Um, and Palmer's there. I hope we can see some more standard tactics to kind of to really give Palmer a big a tent in his pants when he sees two at the back. That's what he likes to see. Right, I'm not going to dwell on it, but we saw a lot of goals last Sunday, Steve. Apart from your own game, which I know you don't really want to talk about, what was the kind of the game of the night in your eyes?
Well, I think you've got to look at Scott's really getting 4 goals out as he done, only one of them being a penalty. I think absolutely superb as he finally found a season where he's going to have a really good year, and I'm sure. And to be fair, I'd like to see it as well personally. Obviously, apart from when he plays against us, but yeah, it's difficult to pick from all of them. I think in terms of laying a marker down, I think the main one for me were Jens, sorry, beating Odger. I think that really sets a marker down for how strong Ulls are going to be this season.
Yeah, he didn't really give him much of a chance, did he? Really good, strong performance. Although he did leave it late to get his goals, NDI and Van Nistelrooy. I have watched little bits of the show back, and I watched the show live, but it was after quite a few beers. I'll be honest with you, so my memories of last Sunday's show are a little blurry. Please do forgive. um, I tell you what, mate. Let's just kick it off. Let's just kick it off out and see where it takes us. And obviously, that's the one place we can't go because it's against you. So, fixtures. Where shall we start? Where shall we start? Do you know what? Who likes an early nighter? There's no boring game, is there, to go for first? I'm just gonna pick a number. Let's go to Swindon. Do you mean we've got two teams in form? Let's see what happens there. Where is our good friend Devils? There we are. And here we have Mr. Fife. He's slight variation to the tactic. He's brought with a couple of players forward. Van Bronckhorst keeping his position at left back. It's a strong team. The one name that I think, if you've been mentioned, stands out is Gugu. Solid player. I think the main news, though, I think a quick comment on before we move on, is Ventila in, Ronaldinho dropped.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising. I mean, obviously, from speaking to Fife before the season started, I think this was mainly his bit of a go-to tactic that he were hoping to play. I do think Guigu's a bit of a step up on Gravison, like he were thinking, but for me, I just think there's a couple too many arrows in there. It's worked for him though. Last season, he had quite a lot of arrows everywhere. Obviously, Kieran Dyer started season off like he picked up where he left off last season. So, yeah, strong looking side.
Yeah, so not. I mean, Ventila is probably the one question mark for me on there. That is he really a big step up on Ronaldinho? I think not, but we'll see how he gets on. Scott not making too many changes from the team that absolutely demolished Slavs last week, and why would you? Eto has come in for the suspended Brozek. Beyond that, it's pretty much the same 11. He'll be hoping for another sterling performance from Zizou. Um, Sylvester and Lassisi, obviously and Andre, they conceded a couple last week, but I don't suppose you just got to have been too bothered when you're scoring 6 goals. But it'd be interesting to see if that kind of Zidane performance was a one-off or it's something that we're going to see more of. Let's have some predictions in the chat. Evening Martin, I can see you're there. Evening Fifey. Trying to watch along, trying to watch along at the same time. Oh, cheers, mate, cheers. Evening Dickon. Let's proceed to the match, and it's not a ghost game. Steve, any comments on Bostock's lineup? I don't think it's not too much change, but any predictions for tonight?
I think it's going to be a tough game. I think they both started really well. I think a big away win for Devils. I think he might sneak this, be the odd goal. The one positive for me, though, for Scott has been how Ortega's played at right wing back so far as well. I think he's been superb in his first couple of games.
Yeah, 2 assists in 2 games. I know obviously he scored a few goals last time out, so he probably got a couple there. But yeah, that would have been a question mark. And I know he struggled last season, played a few different players there, Tudor, Castroman, to name a couple. I think there was a few others as well. He played at right wing back, but just not necessarily Ortega's natural position. But let's see how we go. Fife is saying this is a tough first home game, but he's feeling hopeful. A lot of people going draws. Mr. Edwards and Alf going for 3-3 and 2-2, and he's Duggan 3-3. Joe Palmer going for a 4-2 home win. I'm surprised Palmer's not turned off at the fact that both teams have gone with 2 at the back, but there we are. Evening, Joe. Let's kick this off and see what happens. Seen a lot of white early on there from Bostock, but no chances to such. Kuhl and Dyer involved for the Devils. Nicola Venter involved as well. Looks like the Devils are starting to turn the screw a little bit, and we got a goal from that surprise selection, Nicola Ventula even. And Fifey again is actually piling the pressure on and has scored a second. Uliano, who's picked up from Leddersford across the summer, kind of left out at Leddersford, but not the case here. And this is not what Scott would have wanted to see in the first half. And see a long range effort there from Zidane going wide. Fifey will be over the moon with that. Maybe warranted a few more shots on target, but the fact that he's limited Bostock to not much at all, he'll be very happy with you.
Yeah, I think looking at that, you've been massively. I think obviously the commentator's curse it started with you pick Ventler out, but for 10 million quid, you'd expect him to get a goal or 2 as well. But I just think it were unbelievably solid from Fifey there. He's got to be delighted with that so far.
Yeah, Van Bronckhorst cross headed home by Ventula for the first one, and Barry Ferguson obviously loves an assist and gets the ball over into the area for Uliano. So that's a really, really good start. I'm going to click on Bostock first, and hopefully Scott can give me his subs quick sharp while you talk through their performance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's not much to speak about really. I mean, I think the 2 surprising fives are 2 of his probably stronger performers, especially from last season as well. I mean, Lizarazu were brilliant. Tudor, I know he's one of his favourite players and one of his go-tos as well. I think if anybody were underperforming, you wouldn't expect it to be them 2. But there's improvement there without a doubt, and it's just can they get enough on the front foot to try and get back into it and then maybe nick a win. But I just think looking at first half, I think it's Fifey's game to lose now. Really looking at them ratings.
Yeah, looking at those ratings as well. I mean, no one lower than a 7. His defence being absolutely rock solid. I say his defence, but Nicola Valenta was one of those people up there on a 9 for some reason. For some reason Fifey's got his players in random positions up on the team sheet. Montero in the whatever. I don't know what's happened there. And not surprisingly, Fifey's gone with 0 changes. Everyone's relatively fit. No one scored a 9. Key passes coming from Dyer, Van Bronckhorst, Ventler and Kuhl. The assist for Ferguson and Van Bronckhorst as we expected. And he's kind of, apart from Uliano's shot which went in, it's the key players getting the shots on. No idea, without much of a doubt, a shadow horse. If you can work that out in the chat, Steve, then please tell me.
I can indeed. I know where that's going, mate. I know where that's going.
Okay, right. I am going to carry on then. And we kick off for the second half, and we saw a little bit of Bostock early on, but not much. Karlichuk's having a dip. No goal early, which I think he was looking for, but Zidane is making an effort. Looks like Bostock have definitely come into it. And as soon as I say that, I saw a couple of efforts there for Devils. Ferguson blasting the ball, Harry Kuehl involved now at the moment, and Christian Vieri having to go off. I'm going to assume it's a straight swap for David Trezeguet. I can't see any. I mean, I don't think it's worth even waiting for that one. It's not going to be anything else, is it? But obviously a disappointing one there for Scott. He would have kind of hoped to keep his main man up going, and Trezeguet comes on for the last day, and that is not what he was seeing. An unlikely goal scorer, Mark Uliano, often left out of the side at Leddersford, made just 8 appearances last season for them, gets a second one, but you maybe not selected for his goals, but Fife will take them. And as soon as I say that, Uliano gets sent off with just 5 minutes to go. We're going to take off the player with the least fitness. Harry Kuehl can drop in there and go for Wes Brown. If this is absolutely appalling to you, Fifey, then speak up, but you're 3-0 up with 5 minutes to go, so I'm not going to listen. I suppose Emerson could do.
He's got them Reds in his locker though, hasn't he? Uliano with Montero as well.
I'm just going to continue that. I mean, it's 5 minutes to go. It's not going to do. Brown for Emerson. Fucking hell, Fifey. I'm sorry, Fifey, but you're going to have to stick with what I'll give you. Can't be bothered. And with 92 minutes gone, Trezeguet gets in the area and Penza hits one wide, and it's 3-0. It's finished. I mean, Fifey's telling me to drop Kuehl back, but the game is over, and he's won 3-0, 11 shots on target, 11 shots, 7 on target versus 8-3. Maybe not a 3-0 result, but a convincing victory at home. Let's have a quick look at how the third goal went in, and look at the red card. It was Ferguson and took the corner. Uliano hit the ball hard at goal, so from a set piece there, and Uliano hacked down Zidane with 2 feet, so maybe deserved red, but a bittersweet performance for Uliano, 2 goals and a 9, but then getting red carded. Gigu picks up man of the match. Really good victory for the Devils, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously looking at, I mean, Scott had a bit more of a go in second half. He had plenty more attempts, just a couple more on target. So I think obviously looking at that, Guigu's won all his tackles. That's what Fifey brought him in for, to be fair, regardless of him being an old player of mine. I think he's showing there. I mean, I think he got a man at match for me last season as well. But looking at the all ratings across board, strong, really strong throughout the whole game for him.
Yeah, and conversely, after a really strong performance last time out from Bostock, it's more of a night to forget, really. 4 7s, 5 if you include Vieri. Jack's come on, didn't really do too much. Salva, the only one with 2 key passes. Not enough efforts on goal, not enough going forward. Zidane getting back down to a 6 in a booking. Tudor, really disappointing performance from one of his strong players. Yeah, superb from me. Thanks a lot, Wood. I really do appreciate that. I mean, I'm definite Bostock would have come back into that game if whatever Fifey asked me to do, Emerson or something, would have been me. But anyway, there we are. We start off the night with the Devils victory, and we head hastily to Locomotive, who tonight are away at Leddersford in a repeat of last season's grand final. Maybe they should have had more of a build-up, but there it is again. This is a huge game. Past meetings, this is the team that have faced each other the most, with 5. Locomotive just on top in that one, and that is because of their 2-1 victory in the Super League Grand Final. Inzaghi and the 96th minute winner from Stefan Effenberg via the golden goal rule. Tonight, we don't see too many changes from Locomotive Boston from their team last time out. Let's have a quick look, see if I can spot any. Ricardinho has dropped to the bench, I believe. But apart from that, they pretty much go unchanged. Interesting that playing with players who served him so well, like Ricardinho and Effenberg, are kind of being the ones kind of dropped out, and you've gone for Del Vecchio, Cassano. Obviously, not to kind of shrug at those two players, they both scored last time out, but maybe an interesting selection from Greavesy. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I think Del Vecchio started season superb for him. When he told me that he was talking to Alf about him and maybe bringing him in, I was really surprised because I genuinely thought he was Alf's best player last season. Cassano nearly came to Dudley after a few ums and ahs about different stuff we were going to do. And yeah, I mean, he's trying to be a bit more expansive, but going away from home, I don't blame him for dropping Ricardinho on a bench to give a bit more steel. We try to bring Petit into centre midfield, but you know, he's trying to shrug off the shit house at the minute, and he's doing a good job of it as well. So I'm sure as long as he continues to pick up reasonable results, we won't see too many things coming.
No worries, and I'll quickly talk through the lineup here from Hodgie. An interesting one was for me was dropping Torres. Obviously, he was beat last time out, 3-1 by Hulls, and Torres only got a 6. Also, Robbie Keane, I think, has dropped to the bench, and he's brought in Lee Chun-Soo for the first time this season. Morientes, who started last season relatively strong and then got dropped back into the side. Obviously, really strong Champ Legends outfit. The question mark always around Pat Satsoglu in the midfield, but I think he's answered those questions over the years. He will have considered himself very unlucky not to win the league last season, and yeah, whether he felt like he deserved it in the final, I think over his numerous appearances against Greavesy, I think he'll have thought he was the better team. Yeah, it's a really strong lineup. You're going to get goals with Montella, Morientes, Torres. Lee Chun-Soo, bit of a Champ legend. Yeah, he blows hot and cold though, as you can kind of see. He gets goals, he gets assists, but then he isn't averse to throwing in a 5. You can't see previous things, but you'll get a 5 or a 4, then you'll get an 8 or a 9. So it can definitely go both ways. So let's have a look at some predictions in the chat. Palmer saying Greavesy is ruthless. Interesting to know what your thoughts are behind that. Who are you backing tonight, Steve?
I just think that a little bit more expansive of Greavesy and looking at Odgie's backline and his defensive midfielders, I can see it getting evened up a little bit tonight, and maybe a Leddersford 1-0.
Leddersford 1-0, and Alf's gone for a banker. In fact, I've seen six things in here, and everyone is going for a draw. Dimble's asking for predictions in binary. I think we're just getting the 1-1s so far. I don't know what Dimble's trying to do here, kind of thing.
I think he put the Super 7 predictions in further up, so Duggan jumped on him, said he can't read them in binary. So
got you, understand. Right, let's just kick it off and see what happens. And Lee Chun-Soo was involved early on, but no goals in the first couple of seconds. Aymar had to take a free kick, but could not direct it. Pat Satsoglu having a shot. Montella going through. Pat Satsoglu involved a lot at the top end of the pitch, but Cassano had a shot there. Only 12 minutes gone. There's lots of action, in contrast to the final last season. And there's Vincenzo Montella putting the ball in the back of the net, but he was offside. Disappointing for Hodgie's lads there. Morientes offside, Soroczynski involved. Looks like Leddersford slightly on top, but maybe not for long after that one. I've not seen Hodgie in the chat at all. He is at home, however.
Nice. I mean, it was one of them games last season, wasn't it, where he had 3 off against Greavesy, which probably does swing that little past meetings out a little bit. I think Joe Palmer will probably pull Maldini middle, won't he? Because he don't want to see 2 at back anymore.
Well, I mean, Palmer would do that. I don't think we're going to do that though. I don't think that's, unless Hodgie pops up. I think I'm going to do this. I don't want to make an unnecessary change. Pat Satsoglu absolutely solid at centre half. Yeah, Palmer, I reckon he'd go on at the back. I thought you'd say that. I'm just going to put Pat Satsoglu back there for now. Maldini's going to move to captain unless he likes Soroczynski at the back. He does actually. He said that before, Wood. I agree with you, so let's do that. Oh God. So we'll put Sarachinski at the back. Ambrosini Pats as a good defensive midfield, and it keeps the shape of this team the same. Keeps the defensive midfield line. He's still got the attacking line up. So let's do that. See what happens. Take Montella off. You would have done it if it was me. Nah, I definitely wouldn't. And it looks like we're just going to get to half time here. Or are we? First shot from Ronaldo, but there we are, half time. Nice to see a big full house at the Jaguar XG8 Stadium. And although it looked like we had a lot of text, not many chances, Steve.
No, I mean that's fairly even, isn't it? I think. I mean, obviously, Greaves will be disappointed with that, but they're not. It's not overly bad. I don't think Leathersford did look slightly on top on in terms of comms, but yeah, you can still go either way this guy. But they've not. It looks like they've had barely any ball, doesn't it? There, does the Boston.
Yep. Ricky for Manu, so it's Ricardinho on for Manu Petit. Don't think there's anything else there. Do you think they are cancelling each other out, Steve? Oh, this is Palmer.
Yeah,
this is Palmer. This is Palmer doing his thing. You got to be careful these traps that he sets. I mean, I can't do any subs. I can't do any subs for Leathersford, and I think Hodgie's working, but everyone's relatively fit. So we're going to continue this game of the second half, into the second half, and see what happens. Something looked harsh. Ronaldinho had an effort there. Montella had an effort for Leathersford. Ronaldinho on side. Del Vecchio shoots the ball over. It looks like Locomotive are involved. Decor's picked up a yellow card, but it's 20 minutes to go, and it would really suit this game for a 0-0, wouldn't it, at this point? Cassano shoots high and wide. 87 minutes gone. Montella, top corner, over Ronaldo. Cassano, high and wide again, and there we have a 0-0. Do you know what, Steve? I'm not even going to ask your opinion on this game, mate, because we kind of says everything that it needs to be said there. 2 shots on target versus 1, even against 10 men. Greaves' lads didn't have another shot on target. Although both teams look like they're playing expansive football, they're both playing shithouse football, clearly. And Rossini picking up man of the match. Leathersford, probably would have won this with 11 men, but did a good job at keeping the door shut. The 10 men, pretty boring performance and pretty terrible. Considering up against 10 men from the ever expansive PR Greaves and Locomotive Boston, all the 8s coming from their defenders and goalkeepers. But I think overall, in terms of Super League standard, less said the better. And we move on to the C-suite. And after their massive victory last time out against Churchtown 5-2, they are facing Northern Burn tonight, who they've won both previous games, and they are unchanged. What do you reckon, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me looking at Macca there is obviously sticking Prutton on the bench, because obviously I think his thoughts are probably dropping Biscan back if anything happens, but why would he change after with such a dominant performance away from home? In fairness, I think he's really good. I'm not a big fan of Biscan in centre midfield, but sat at the side of Dalmat, who did really well for a spell on the back of your recommendation, I'm guessing, last season. You know what, the back at home, where they really struggle, away team really struggle to get anything from. I can't see him not getting a result here without no disrespect meant to Ian.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those teams, and we'll go to Northern Bird now. These teams always look strong on paper, and I think it's a completely different lineup tonight. The one that drew 2-2, they played the similar formation to Greaves he's just played, and the former champs Phoenix used to play back in the day. He's gone with something completely different tonight. He's gone with the 2-7-1 to kind of to go against what Macca sometimes goes against. Any surprises in here? I mean, he's missing Cannavaro. Apart from that,
no, I think it actually suits some of the players a little bit more as well. The way he's playing there. I mean, I know he gets a little bit of a bad press, but I really like Fiore in that centre midfield. Obviously, Del Piero being out of side as well. I think looking at there, I think that's probably a bit stronger for Ian. Looking at what he's got available and from last game out. Gerard and Gattuso obviously can really fire in DMC, and I think away from home, it looks like he's going there to try and solid it out a bit and try and nick a bit of something towards the end. So, but I do like the look of what he's playing tonight. The plays he's got.
It's a solid line. It's interesting to see Fiore and Nakata get off centre midfield. I'm not hugely. I mean, Macca's got players like Giggs and Beckham, who I think more suited to the wing positions. George Atos and Contra more wing backs. But let's see what we get from this one. Fulchester versus Northern. Anyone going to give us some predictions before we kick off in the chat? So, what did you give us a prediction then, Steve, or did you just say it's going to be a tough one?
Yeah, I said a Fulchester win, but I think it'll be a tight one. I think it'll be a 1-0 or a 2-1 because I think having them more defensive midfielders on the wings for Ian, pushing them up a bit further, is obviously trying to push Giggs and Beckham back a little bit further as well. But like I say either a 1-0 or 2-1 to Macca.
1-0 or 2-1 for Macca. I mean, he's two strikers tonight have started well. Veron started well. Let's see what happens. Hopefully Northern Burn, and I say this every time to Ian, that they basically hope they have a really good season this year. I think they've got a really strong squad, but I mean, you would say on paper that Fulchester's one of the toughest places to go. Macca is backing himself for the first time I've ever seen in my life. What is going on? So that means he's probably going to lose. Palmer and Duggan going for home victories. Alfbridge and Fifey going for away victories, and Fifey being apologetic about going against Macca. Interesting. Ian is the Klopp on the sidelines. Put your feet up, right? Pour a pint of wine. 2-1 Giggs goal assist, and I've got a lot. I mean, it's a medium glass of wine. It's Sauvignon Blanc. I would bath in it if I could. But let's kick this off, and it's in blue to start off, and then white and orange, and Maxim Tazalko has an early goal. And wow, Hideyoshi Nakata has a second goal after 12 minutes. This is not in the script. This is not what we expected. Teams away from home at Fulchester don't generally get much. Northern Burn in the first few games of the season usually don't win, but it looks like things, times they are a-changing, as Bob Dylan numerous times said. It does look like Fulchester have come into it a little bit since the second goal though. Excellent start from Sizalco and Nakata. Henri involved. Both teams still creating chances. Northern Burn definitely doing bits, but I mean, that will be horrific reading if you're the Fulchester boss. It looked like Northern Burn had a couple more chances in my eyes. I can tell that Fulchester definitely got on top, but 5 shots on target to 2, but those 2 have gone in. It's the all-important shots on target, and it's the all-embarrassed Gigi Buffon. Contra headed the ball, and Contra crossed the ball, and Tizalco scored, and Giggs tackled the ball, and Nakata took the ball, took hold of it, and blasted it to the top corner. I'm just going to go to Macca first. Obviously, we've got the Buffon 5. Not a terrible performance apart from that, Steve.
No, it's. I mean, to be fair, they did look to have a little bit more in the first half than that did Burn. But like you say, I think Colchester were on top for quite a bit of it, and when you've got somebody like Buffon who was so good for him last season, letting you down a little bit. I mean, it goes to show, doesn't it, with keepers on game, but it stinks of a Molina coming on and getting an 8, though, doesn't it? Like it normally does this game, but.
That won't happen though. That won't happen, I'm afraid, Steve, because Macca is staying as is. Conversely, we've got Francesco Caldo on the other side getting a 9. All his players are fit, and it's another goal for Maxim Tizalco, which I think that makes it 3-3, which absolutely Ian will be absolutely delighted with. He got 9 last season with Hools. He's definitely getting a higher strike rate at Northern Burn. Northern Burn, do you mean is this the season for them? Is this? I mean. Are they going to hold out tonight? Is this going to be the start of something big for them?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they've obviously held out well enough in that first half to probably show that they could probably hold out for the rest of the game. I mean, yeah, Maxim's that's massive for him, and obviously losing Van Bommel for him probably questionable by a few people. But he can't. The way it's gone so far for him, you can't knock that. But yeah, he's really solid. So apart from Fiore, who obviously I said I liked, and that's probably my fault. He's got a 6, but. He's got a good base to build on there for the second half, and it's unless Macca throws another tirade at him like he did in first half, I can't see it past Ian getting win here.
Yeah, a bit of an upset on the cards. I'm just going to wait a couple more seconds to see if Ian wants to. I'm pretty sure Ian's about, isn't he? I'm pretty sure I saw Northern Burn tag before. It's dry weather, probably wet and breezy weather. No idea what Palmer's on about. Oh, as always, Palmer just talking rubbish. Booth on the new can. Right, Ian's got 10 seconds before I kick off the second half. And we are go. Here we go. It looks like Matka had a few chances but didn't get that early goal he needed. We're up to 65 minutes already, 75 minutes now. Still looks like it's Fulchester, but still no goals. Not what Matka would like to see. This 2-0 victory, 88 minutes gone. Boyd McGregor, yellow card for Biscan, and it is pretty much more of the same. Are you still there, Steve?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I just everything kind of froze a little bit, and I didn't know if I'm just playing the game and nobody's listening, and Ian didn't respond, and Ian always responds, and it's I don't know what happened, but anyway, it pretty much more of the same, and yeah, we've got the definition of a champion here. Really, 2 shots on target from Northern Burn, both went in. 8 shots on target from Fulchester, and none went in. These things happen every now and again. I remember you had a fixture against Fulchester where these things, I mean, something similar happened, I believe. Well, a last-minute goal, should I say? Absolute. I mean, as much commiserations to Maka, probably undeserved, but absolutely massive congratulations to Ian, who, do you mean, in, as I say, previous Super League iterations, has always been a little bit down on his luck. He definitely rode his luck a little bit tonight, and deserves Francesco Toldo deserves a pint, but yeah, really solid performance from Northern Burn.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, they're the sort of results like that can show you've potentially got a decent season in you. Yeah, I think again Maka will be infuriated with that, to be fair, but he's held out massively as Ian there. He's had 1 attempt off target in second half, and two attempts off target, sorry, and Toldo's even dropped down from a 9 to an 8 and still got a man at match. So,
yeah,
considering
extra poor distribution.
Yeah, well, all extra chances Maka had, I'm surprised he did drop down for that. But I mean, it's not. Look at that. That's not that bad, is it?
That's not. You mean those stats don't signalise a 2-0 defeat, do they? Yepes and Buffon, the only people under less than a 7. A few 8s in there. It's a really solid. Let me look at the passing there compared to. I mean, it's very similar to Northern Burn. It's like it's been a good solid game. Fulchester have created the chances, but Northern Burn have taken the 2 chances that they created. I think it's yeah. I mean, it's one of those games. Frustration for Fulchester, and yeah, Ian will be bouncing tonight off his first win on the board of the new season. Evening Tell Champignon, who's obviously put the fire emoji there. Obviously a Northern Burn fan. Feel the burn from Fifey. Good 3 points for Indon. Took a while last season. Enjoy it when it comes. Come Dimble. Dudley v Dragons. We can't go to Dudley v Dragons. So where are we going to go next, mate? You pick the next game.
Let's go to Sloss v Churchtown. 2 sides that struggled a little bit.
Yeah. So basically, you've gone for the. You mean you're saying by going to that is basically you're just trying to get the rubbish game out of the way. Is that what you're trying to suggest?
No, certainly not. I think it's got more about it this game than it leads to believe. I think they've both been, apart from obviously Churchtown as well. I think Rob's been really unlucky with his game so far, and he's always had a bit of a change up as well.
I was going to say that, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I mean, it's very rare that I receive an email from Rob Slough. Do you mean Rob's very much? I'm going to stick with this tactic, maybe change a few players, and does that in the Twitter chat. But I got an email with a new tactic on, and he's gone 2 up top, which allows him to play that little trio: Pizarro, Madeira, and Collins. Do you reckon that's got the? Do you reckon that's got the firepower he needs?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I certainly, as good as he was last season, I think Collins is certainly better on his own as an AMC. And I mean, Desai were absolutely superb for him last time out as well. I think that looks a lot more solid and a lot more less likely to concede goals than. But he were Kevin Keegan style all last season for money. I'll score 6, you score 4 or 5, but it looks a lot more solid. And
in my opinion, I mean that Scally obviously divides opinion, but he does get ratings on the game. Do you mean he's 7.5 average last season? And really, I mean, he was solid apart from getting red carded a lot. Desai, in my opinion, for season 1, is up there, top 5 DMs on the game. I mean, defensive midfielders. I know he's a centre back who's playing defensive midfield, but he is absolutely rock solid. Didn't have the best season last season, but can do the business. And I think he's got 3 players up there in Collins, Madeira, and Pizarro who are known to score goals. Solid wing backs. I think this lineup, in my opinion, kind of suits his team a little bit. Even Kieran Collins, nice to see you in the chat. Carlos Gamara is going to be selected captain, and Kieran Collins just in time to see his team. And what a team this is. I was amazed when I saw this. Another manager who sent in a tactic file this week, and his team have gone gung-ho, and Palmer will be creaming himself to see one at the back. So 1 at the back, 3 up top. Is there any more fuck it than this, Steve?
If anything, there's goals, and if anybody's proved to be a master of playing 3 up top in Super League, it's certainly been Kieran, hasn't it? So, I mean, if you take the 1 at the back out of it, there's goals all the way forward, from even DMs forward. So, there's going to be a lot of pressure on that. I think Rob's done the right thing, looking at that, playing a bit more defensive. This after the start of the season, this is one I certainly can't call at all.
Well, let's have some predictions in the chat, because you can't call it. I mean, I definitely can't call it, because it's 2 teams, but two managers who, let's say, sparsely changed their formations last season, and have both changed it due to their relatively poor starts. Kieran obviously fancies his team this year. He's got some good players in there, which maybe he didn't have maybe had to a lesser extent last season. He's gone with 3 up top. Santa Cruz, Basiu, Canel, but I think there's goals in there, especially with Totti behind them. He's gone with his new signing, his expensive new signing, Alex Pignardi, making his debut. It's a solid, that line. He's brought, question marks over the Kubu transfer, but to be honest, I'm doing a bit of a journeyman at the minute, and my 4th or 5th season, I'm just with Ajax, and they've got Yakubu in there, and he is absolutely fantastic. Sloths himself, I've already mentioned that I love that little trio there. Let's have a quick look at these. Alfbridge going 2-1, a few people going for big scores. Potato going for 7-0 to Churchtown. Swindon going 4-7. Mega Horse going 1-9. Want Churchtown to get pumped so Joe can pipe down. Haha, that's from Dimble. Interesting. El Champino going 4-2. And this is Joe Palmer, who I believe is part director of football for Sloths and former prisoner with a little bit of Stockholm syndrome, who actually wants Sloth to lose. Kieran Collins, fuck off, Dimble. But there we have Giovanni Elba on 9 minutes getting the opening goal for Churchtown. Music and delight Kieran's eyes, but it doesn't look like it's all one-way traffic. Both teams involved, De Roberto involved, which obviously sends quivers for any kind of opposition when you see De Roberto's name with his assists he got last season, and he seems to be heavily involved. 22 minutes gone. This is definitely not a quiet game, which you can kind of see from the text. Santa Cruz having an effort there. Looks like he's heavily involved whenever he's on the pitch. Another effort there. Totti just clipped it forward. Zanetti involved. A lot of efforts for Churchtown there, and to be honest, that's not too dissimilar from what I expected, really. It seems like Sloths came into it for a very brief period, but Churchtown started and finished much the stronger. However, not the accuracy that either side, only at 33% accuracy with their shots. Let's have a look at how that goal went in. Early on it was Zanetti, obviously key player for Churchtown, and Elbert outjumped the goalkeeper. Let's have a look at Churchtown first. Solid first half. What Collins will be happy with?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, to be fair, Totti for Zanetti nearly happened sort of early doors last time. I mean, when you mentioned about the Hugo transfer, People might look at an individual transfer and think, wow, that's crazy. But then when you look at the overall business he's done shaping his side, it's no coincidence that his side looks a lot stronger this year. I think he's got Totti playing an 8, which I think he only did once for me. But he's super first half, really. He's probably disappointed that he hasn't got more than one goal on board.
Yeah, Duggan saying Albert Beast. Having a quick look at this. Teso saying, has Steve said without a shadow of doubt yet?
No.
No, he's not. Are you on both chats here, Steve? Something that's going on?
Yeah,
Steve,
I am.
Steve, do the catchphrase. Right, we're on 6s and 7s for Rob, but as a delight that he is, my good friend Rob from Somerset, both managers are keeping the same, so I'm going to kick off the second half and see what the hell happens. And it looks like Pizarro, looks like Zeriberto's involved. Looks like Sloths are having a go early on, but that second half has gone very quick. Only 15 minutes to go. I mean, not a 1-0 wasn't what I expected when I saw the Churchtown formation. And with 5 minutes to go, it looks like there's a good chance that's what we're going to get. Neil Scarley, Zeriberto, good chance here. Oh, and in the last minute, 92nd minute, that man, David Collins, makes it 3 goals in 3 games. And looking on the basis of the second half, Sloss have definitely come into the game a little bit more and probably deserved that point at least. Yeah, but I mean, fair play to both managers. Really good effort. And probably a nice share of the spoils is what they deserved. Albertini blasted the ball to the top corner. Albertini, who in my opinion is absolutely shite. And then Lehman only couldn't gather the ball, and Collins has had a great chance and scored it. Quick look, and Zanetti being the main man, but not a great performance overall from Churchtown. A lot of 6s, Pinardi, Yakubu, Vasiliuk in there in the middle. Goals from a goal from Elba. The assist from Zanetti, who's picked up man of the match. Sloths, Desai unlucky with a 10 not to pick up man of the match. The goal from Collins and the assist from absolutely no one because it was a deflection. But I mean, good solid game. See ya.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, if you looked at the stats, there were 40% played in Churchtown's half, first half, 32 in second half in their end. So it's no surprise that Rob were on ball again for the second half pressing. So no, good again for Rob. Kieran will be disappointed, but that second half they didn't create anything, did they?
Greavesy also pointed out that the back now has a 0% win percentage. Great second half from Rob. Really unlucky Kieran, Mr. Edwards. Yeah, I think it did not see a 1-1. I mean, it is a surprising one. If you play one at the back for the whole season, you end up at 26 points. Alright, so it's all about the ribbing. Interesting tactic from Alf tonight. This is a bit gung ho. It's wide. It's attacking. This isn't Alf, is it, Steve?
I mean, to be fair, can you blame him if, in a sense, for a lot of what he's done? What I'm liking is his AMCs have been given a bit more of a free rein there by not having arrows pointing to behind, or both pointing to the same place behind Tristan and Shearer. It looks decent, and he's got players in there that can certainly do the big job. I mean, his centre half pairing is it's really strong, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I think it's one of the, I mean, I think it's a lot, and a lot of people kind of roll over their eyes over at Alf's squad and saying he's not really got the firepower, but in my opinion, he definitely does. I mean, absolutely rock solid there. At centre back, his main keeper's Peruzzi, obviously getting dropped this week, but got a solid keeper. Nedved, Costa, Danielson. Do you mean? I think there's definitely players in there to make a go at this. And yeah,
I think what's playing him down is like he's got Kaluzny and Guardiola not playing in front of Foe as good as I know he played all right for 5 times last year, but Kaluzny should be there for me, and then Guardiola as a backup.
Yeah, completely. Collision is the main man in my opinion. I mean, you can deal with the red card every now and again because of the fact that he's going to kind of win your games, in my opinion. Vieira is suspended, so in has come Stilian Petrov. Beyond that, it's not too dissimilar from the team that beat yourselves last week. Absolutely kind of Is it a different ball game playing Haggis nowadays? Cordoba and Stam are still rock solid at the back after losing Hoffland. This just looks like a different kind of proposition than Salas and Donovan did last season, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's strong. I mean, they were strong last season. Apart from up top, they just got. You look at Rossini and Shevchenko there; it gives them a massive different dynamic for the goals. And for me, Larsson's playing in his best position. So I think that 11 there is extremely strong, and they're probably over the last, like I say, a couple of years of me been watching. They've probably got best chance over last season and season before of cementing a playoff spot for me.
So does that mean that you're backing them tonight, mate? Do you think that the Haggis are going to go to Oldham, to Astor, and get the 3 points? Is that the thing? I mean, Alf, no disrespect, but I think that's one of the things that's been said. That, you mean, if a team's going to really have a go at this season, then they need to be taking maximum points off you, Alf. I mean, that's how much you're being disrespected. Not that I would ever disrespect you that way. I think you've got a good chance, mate. But Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I can see maybe 2-3-1 Agis and Shevchenko coming to on his old club with a couple of goals.
I mean, that's kind of echoed in the chat there a little bit. El Champino, Mega Horse, Duggan, and Devils all going for an away win. Alf backing himself, which is what I like to see. Absolutely love. I mean, a man with confidence in his own team, and it's a strong team. I'm really hoping this works out for you, Alf. Obviously impartial as always, but I mean, fuck Ian. Sorry, I couldn't help myself there. A lot of orange to start us off, and Frank has given us the first goal after 19 minutes. I mean, I don't know about you, mate, but this looks like a hammering so far. 28 minutes gone, and I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be eating humble pie in the chat if this continues as it is. Shevchenko involved then for Haggis, but that first half went very, very quickly, and it was very, very one-sided. 4 shots on target versus the 1. Astor to Haggis. Action zones flat, but the possession with them. And it's Danielson free kick. Frank has swiveled on the ball and showed Riquelme a clean set of heels and hit the ball low on his left foot. Let's have a look at Astor first, because I'm pretty sure I've not seen Ian at all in the chat. I don't know about you. But yeah, I completely agree with Jens there. Alf's done his homework.
Yeah, I think you cannot knock that at all. And then you've got Torricelli playing right wing back, Nedved left wing back, where he doesn't normally play. His 2 best performers at night, really, looking at the stats. He's massive credit to Alf there in that first half.
Yeah, he's kind of in Alf saying that Astor don't keep clean sheets. Alf, can you do me a huge favour, mate, and just tell me yes or no, do you want any subs? And if you do want a sub, can you tell me what it is? That is generally what the first thing I'm after when it gets to half time. A lot of people praising though, Alf saying done his homework. Credit to Alf without a shadow of a doubt from Wooder. Nice to see that. Alf doesn't want any subs, that's good to see. A lot of good fitness there, if not a good performance. Iker Casillas picking up a 9 for Haggis. Ian, I imagine he's out on do you mean he's on a Tinder date tonight? No doubt. It's Friday. It's Tinder night, isn't it? So, but he'll be yeah, he won't be happy with this performance.
2 9s though, Casillas for first 2 games out, and then he's playing a 9 again already. It's
interesting. Needs the rest of the team to catch up. I'm going to kick it off because of time and all that. Shevchenko hits the ball harmlessly over. Shevchenko, Rossini involved. Looks like a lot of blue. Interesting that Haggis coming into this a little bit now. Have not scored the goal with 66 minutes gone. Rossini heading wide. Nedved involved. Tristan involved. Oh my God! Pause. Read for Riquelme. Ian, just so you know, mate, that sub came through about 15 minutes into the second half, so I'm going to do the sub, but it's going to be with about 10 minutes to go. Did you see it come through, Steve?
Yeah, it's just come through at the same minute as it is on my phone on YouTube for me. So
yeah, he's on for the last 10 minutes, but it is what it is, mate. obviously the Edinburgh internet are not doing much, and it's not doing much to the result with 10 minutes to go. 7 shots on target for 5-3, but Asta, congratulations to Alf, commiserations to Ian. Well done, Alf. Big victory that. You beat them at home last season, you beat them at home again tonight. Maybe a time for reflection to Ian, that maybe there's still work to be done. Good solid victory.
I'm just chuckling at Wooder there because he said Fifey were delayed with his sub as well.
Yeah, I mean, let's give a bit of praise to Astor. I think Alf deserves it. I mean, that's a really, really solid performance, and it's a. I mean, I don't think anyone's played this formation in the Super League in either last season or this season, and he's put it out there, took a bit of a risk, and it's paid off. Well played, Alf.
It just fuels Joe's. If nobody's played that, it just fuels Joe's argument, doesn't it? It's play something different and get a result.
Yeah, and that's the last thing we want to do is fuel Joe Perman. Hoffland and Nedved crying. The idea is that 2 players playing for Asta, Nedved picking up the man of the match, Hoffland picking up a 9. Both of those are former Asta players. Tato absolutely loving that, or not loving it really. Obviously, as media manager for Haggis. Haggis' performance leaves a little bit to be desired. Outside of the kind of defensive areas, you got Duffham, Stan getting 8s, but Casillas getting 8s, but then just 6s and 7s, and yeah, not really much in terms of key passes. Ian will be disappointed, but I know what Ian's like. He's a good manager. He will bounce back. I think tonight is about Asta doing his homework, Alf doing his homework, sorry, and really doing a job there. So congratulations to Alf, and yeah, good to see you getting off the mark. El Champino echoing my thoughts there, as is Wooder saying well done Alf. Nedved man of the match. El Champino. Adama Traore just scored an absolute thunder bastard for Wolves. He's one of those players, isn't he? Four, a Wooder suggestion pre-season. I mean, Four is a 2-time Super League winner, as I'm sure Alf knows better than me. It keeps going to Dudley v Dragons, doesn't it? Where have we not been yet, Steve? We're going to go to Gazelles. There we are. We stick with the time period, and we've got another manager going with 3 up top. This time it's Craig of the Special Gazelles, Raul, Agahoa and Figo. Agahoa coming in to replace Clivert, considering Clivert's very low morale and only got a 6 last time out. Apart from that, he's unchanged. Last time these 2 clubs met, Hools got the better of them, 2-1 away at Gazelles and 1-1 at home. What do you reckon of this lineup, mate? It's obviously they had a huge defeat last time out, but won first just game of the season against Fulchester.
Yeah, I mean, I think dropping Cliver after 1-6 against a strong Devils. Put Agahoa in. To be fair, I can't blame Craig for not. Now he's obviously he's had a big win with it early days, and just think not dropping Agahoa back to that AMC might just give Agahoa a bit more freedom to play. I'm not a fan of him up top at all, but the rest of the squad again is massively strong in it.
Yeah, the interesting one for me is, for me, Michael Ballack, solid, okay. He doesn't get in your first team when you're a Premier League, Serie A, La Liga club, so why should he be in a Super League team? Jens Jeremy is much a better player. I'd have Agahoa there and then put Cliver up top. I think that's the only question mark you can put on this team, really. You see, it's rock solid. Whether 3 at the top is the right formation, that remains to be seen. But at least he's having a go at something. So let's have a look at this season's kind of the form setters, the guys who've done the business so far early on in the season. We've had a 3-1 and a 4-1 against Churchtown and Leadersford respectively. I don't think he's changed his formation, but I don't know what I'm clicking on. So no, he's not changed his formation. He's gone with the same kind of idea. Rivaldo, Nicofranco supporting Van Nistelrooy. Solid enough?
Oh yeah, without where is it? Where's Tato? Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. Go on, I'll give you Tato. For me, I think he's just Van Bommel is for me. He's one of the only ones that I think it's a big thing of mine. I'm not a big fan of CDMs in centre midfield, but Van Bommel is certainly one of them that can do it. I think Sanyo can play on left, can't he? So would you have had Zinoni on right?
No, you can't.
Oh no, I can't. I'm getting mixed up. But
so Liverani's come in for Coco. I mean, Coco. I mean, I raised my eyebrow about that signing. He's bought him. Obviously, he's getting the transfer. I can't remember who it was with. So Coco's coming from Sloths. He's coming on that deal. What am I doing? Out. So he's let Pizarro go for Coco and Palermo. Now, Coco is a player who can play that position, but is he a Super League starter? Now, do you mean Hull's done some great business? I would never question Jens, but yeah, I mean, whether he needed that signing, if he's just going to drop him after a couple of weeks and put Liverani in there is an interesting one. But hello, this remains to be seen. We're early in the season. Hull's 100% win record so far, and we're looking to keep that going tonight against the Devils. Let's have some predictions. Coco will come back to bite me according to Coco's on the bench, mate, so he's not going to bite me tonight, is he? He's not even on the bench, is he? No, he's not on the bench. Oh, he is on the bench. Mr. Mega Horse, legend of the game, 3-0 to Hulls. Jens Anderson going 1-2 Gazelles, using the old Macca 5-y tactic of backing the opposition. Tato Marini going 2-0, Duggan going 2-2, Spivey going 4-2. Craig absolutely loving his away kit. I must admit, I do love the away kit. It's very much Irish First Division. El Champagne going 3-1. Also, Chapman Swan, evening Mr. Swan, how you doing? I mean, there's a lot of shit coming in here. A few have tonight, and Alf and Mike and Sam, a few have been had, and a few more will be had tonight, Alf. So, what's your prediction tonight, Steve?
I mean, obviously, start of the season, they're both lad. It's hard to see past the nose win, in my opinion. 2-0.
Let's see what happens then. And I mean, 2 minutes in, nothing much happened there. Both teams involved. Dede, absolute legend of the game, getting involved. Cafu. I mean, the importance of Cafu often kind of goes under the radar for Gazelle. Such a huge player. Zinoni often overlooked at Haggis, starting to Hulls. Clarence Sador, Figo involved for Gazelles. Both team involved. I mean, interesting. This Gazelles teams. I don't know what people think about this and if they follow the entire champ community, but I hasten to say that there's a lot of players playing for Gazelles tonight who also will be playing for Hulls later on tonight in the Swamp FA. An interesting kind of weird kind of crossover event going on here. Both teams having chances. Hulls being quite wasteful in terms of their accuracy. 4 shots on target for Gazelles. Neither team breaking the deadlock, so there's not really much to look at. I'm going to click on Hulls first, and not a bad first half performance. But considering you've won your first 2 games, you've been hoping to win your third at half time, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Costanzo's keeping up his good form. Sol Campbell showing how big his garage is and having another good performance. But to be fair, I don't know how many of them are long shots, but I think obviously Gazelles are showing him to just try and fire them in from wherever they can, how solid they are in that backline.
Yep. Craig's in the chat, so I'm just going to say Kalutsov for Rivaldo, Kutusov for Rivaldo. The chairman agrees with this substitution. Right, and a quick look and see Craig's about. So let's see if Craig wants to make any substitutions, and he's probably best doing that, seeing his ratings rather than his formation. I mean, I thought the performance warranted better ratings than that, but 7s and 6s is what he's got. Mourinho being influential in his play. Let's see as well. I mean, Craig, you've got 10 seconds from this point to tell me if you want a substitution. Big Clivert for Agaho. I mean, it was coming. I think Craig must have knew he was going to be in the chat, knew he was going to be live, and that's why he dropped Clivert, because he knew he could bring him on. Let's see how much of a difference that has on the second half. Figo had an effort there. Seedorf involved. I think he was involved a lot in the first half. Um, Mourinho better slow down or be benched in the Swamp effort, according to Jens. It looks like both teams are having chances, but I'm concerned at 66 minutes that no team has scored. Ferdinand involved, Ede involved for Gazelles, Liverani involved for Hools. But it looks like the defences are winning, or are they? Yes, they are. Offside for Van Bommel's effort. And with 5 minutes to go, Kutuzov, Dede into the air. Raiola has scored on 87 minutes. And, wow. That is a huge victory. For Gazelles. I mean, not many teams backed an away win, looking at the predictions pre-game, apart from Jens. And I mean, your predictions coming back to haunt you a little bit, mate. Really good game, actually. Hull's getting a lot of shots on, obviously a lot of long shots considering, or a lot of hampered shots considering a lot were off target. Gazelles was a little bit more accurate, and I mean, Hull's been made to pay for their wastefulness, really. Dede, the left wing, hit the ball into the area. Raoul unmarked and had a great opportunity, and has got the bin. Not bad performances at all from Hull's Vikings. I mean, it's just wastefulness. Nikiforenko, 4 shots off target. Van Bommel, 2 shots off target. Zanoni and Sanyol and Thuram had all their efforts on target. I mean, but it raises questions when Sanyol, Zanoni and Thuram are having your efforts, is what's the reason why? So yeah, something to the ends to think about. I'm just looking at the time. I'm going to move this on a little bit, Steve, so I'm not ignoring you. I do apologise. Cafe picking up another match just after the chairman said how important he is. Such a huge player in any team, and then you can see why Craig is so. I mean, he's kind of one of the first names on the team sheet. Absolutely solid performance from his back line, including Roy Keane, who's had a really good start to the season. I think that's 2 9s and an 8. Goal coming from Raoul, even though we had a relatively quiet game, only 10 touches. Figo and Aguero were quiet, clout off the bench. I mean, there's definitely there's room for improvement for Gazelles, but they've gone away to the informed team in the league, the team that were 100% record, the only 100% record, and they've won. What a victory, Steve.
Yeah, I think Pellizola getting an 8 with only facing 2 shots on target were probably the biggest surprise for me from that.
Yeah. Al's comment is good snatch, Craig, and then comment of the night from Al from El Champino. I really enjoyed that, mate. I really enjoyed that. Just absolutely loving those comments in the chat. I wonder if Alf knows the connotations of the word snatch in today's vocabulary. Limbs in the way end from El Champino. Thanks, Alf. My missus often says that. I often say that to my missus. Ian Edwards, wow, so unlucky, Jens. Well done, Craig. I say this often a lot of people kind of roll their eyes a little bit, but having teams beating each other is good for the league, and we've seen Astor get a victory tonight. We've seen Hulls get beat tonight. Again, for me, it kind of confirms that we're in a league which is competitive, and we've got 7 competitive games every week. Do you mean so? Tonight we've got 6 games down. We've had 6 good games. Let's see what the 7th game has in store. And I know this is the big game, Steve. I know you're nervous. Let's go to Dragons first, and we've got the team which have a look at the history of this meeting. Obviously, it's become a little bit of a rivalry. Both teams won their home games last season. Dudley Hill just ahead on goal difference in the kind of matchups. Batistuta continuing his hiatus away from the first team. Constantinou scored 2 from 2. Dragons have had a solid start from the season considering they finished bottom last year. They're continuing to concede goals, 2 in each game, but they're scoring more. 4 points from possible 6. Selakovic comes in tonight. An interesting. I don't know what's going on. But there we are. Selakovic is in the team. D'Alessandro's on the bench. You could put Karagunis in there. You could put You could do all sorts of shit, to be honest with you, and you wouldn't have to play Selakovic. But there we are. The Dragons are playing Selakovic, so that means, Steve, and I apologise for this, Selakovic is definitely going to score. But Steve, why don't you talk us through your 11 for tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously playing Selakovic just in the hope of the former club Malaki. I know. To be fair, I was thinking like away from home. We're going to drop an AMC into DM, just try and solid it up a little bit away from home. Although my away form are a lot better, but I think I've got Serginho and I've got Bowyer, and they've got Selakovic and David. So I think my old Dragon boys are more likely to do something imperative in the game. I mean, Davids will probably get late, but that's just in that. But Alex, the first game of the season, Van der Vaart's had 2 sevens. He's been solid, but I just think he might give us that little bit of an edge up to AMC. And Crespo's got history against Dragons. Hat-trick. That game that got quashed, and then we saw a screenshot at the end of it when Martin's internet went tits up. So, but yeah, I'm as confident. I'm not as bad as these for putting a lot of stuff out. But whatever happens.
Whatever will be. And you're away, so it's. I mean, you lost the away game last season. It's a big game tonight. I know it's a lot on the line for you. I know you're a little bit nervous, but do you mean Potato Mourinho went for a 0-0? I mean, a prediction we're getting a 0-0, and I apologise for people eating into people's Friday nights here. I mean, I want it to be done by this time, and there'll be no standing on ceremony at the end of tonight. Palmer going on 11-6, or is that his shift for tomorrow? I'm not too sure. Prediction is WhatsApp getting muted regardless. So Fife is in the WhatsApp group. Uphill task for the Dragons. Is it? What are you saying, Steve? You going to win?
Oh yeah, I'm never going to say I'm not going to win. I've been threatened with a phone call if I don't. So they said you've got to answer it live, but I'm not answering it from. So
Dimble joined us too on watch along. Okay, well, I mean, I hope you enjoy your watch along. Whoa! 5 minutes into it, Hernan Crespo has got the opening goal. As you said, he scored goals against Dragons in a quash game last season. After 16 minutes, that's the only separator. It looks like both teams are in charge, and there is big Hernan again. But
how about them Dragons, eh?
Oh my god! Here we go, and I know there are Dragons in the chat. So if one of the Dragons could please tell me what they want to do, and yeah, I mean, whether the rest of the team have got sixes or not, I'd still be taking Selakovic off. Oh my god. It's all going wrong. Steve, buzzing so far?
Yeah, I mean, Duggan's put in a ha-ha. He can laugh all he wants. Wooders put in Christ. Why don't you leg it, Wooder? He's been giving me I think it was that dodgy-looking dragon with boggly eyes with afro. It's probably costing him a night. Should have stayed with Asta, in fairness.
Right, Selakovic for Zerre, drop Emerton. So Selakovic for Zerre.
Jamie's playing bad card here, though. Jamie's put in his WhatsApp group, because I've just seen it come up the thing. Oh, Steve's done as a keeper here. It's 37 minutes in. Oh,
I mean, we're kicking back off. We're not standing on ceremony here tonight. Do you mean I've already gone over by 9 minutes? And I think I've tried to be quick tonight. We're not really. I mean, what's held it up tonight? Anything? I mean, I've tried to be as quick as possible. I mean, I apologise for it not. But at half time, 2 shots on target to 3. I mean, the Dragons might feel a little bit hard done by. They may feel like that Oliver Kahn is back to his old tricks, which is what it suggests he is. He's let both his goals in. Sorry, three out of his 2 games
right.
in.
They've scored 6 goals. They've scored 6 goals, and they're relying on Joe Cole to score goals. They've still got no strikers that are going to get them a 12, 15 goal, as much as Wooder with saying they were going to get batter shooter scoring 20. I think
he needs to play him if he's going to do that, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think they're massively strong in DM. I still think they've not got enough up top end to threaten any teams to do to really do some damage, in my opinion.
Well, we're going to wrong team. We're going to see Gabriel Batistuta, who Martin has quite famously said is absolutely shit in season 2. But I'm not really sure if he's shit. But he's going to make his first appearance of the season. I mean, improvements needed from the Dragons, especially in the defensive area. Solid first half, Steve.
Yeah, Khan up to his old tricks as well, isn't he? Do you know what? I'll give Amoroso a run for Alistair Darby, please.
Alistair Darby for Amoroso, no problem at all. Apart from that, happy with the first half performance?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's got 2 sevens, but I think Amoroso's been bad, so he's due a good one. It can happen, can't it, at times when they've had a couple of bad performances, but can't really knock that first half, in honesty.
No, and yeah, I'm sure you'll be hoping for it to continue. It looks like both teams are involved second half as well. 56 minutes gone. David's involved a lot. Crespo still involved for Dudley Hill. Looks like he could be one. I mean, I saw Amoroso doing pretty well there. It was 20 minutes to go, but I am seeing a few efforts here from Dragons. Maybe this game isn't as over as we thought it might have been with the 2-0 red card, but with 5 minutes to go, it looks like it might be actually. 87 minutes gone. Ugh, and there we are, final whistle. Nothing much happened in the second half. Few efforts, couple more efforts from Dragons, couple more efforts from Dudley Hill, as you'd expect with the red card. Yeah, Crespo goal, a free kick taken by Alex. I don't know if I looked at these at half time. Crespo shot saved by Calm, and then Crespo filling it off. And Bowyer tripped by West was the 3 things that happened. There, the stats. Dudley Hill, solid performance.
We twatted them, didn't we? It was twatting. You know, I tell you what though, I think I'm delighted about. I've got 2 clean sheets in 3 games, so delighted with that.
Absolutely delighted with that. Absolutely delighted with that. I'm just teasing nowadays. There we go. Interesting. Right. So yeah, absolutely a crucial victory. Obviously, a bit of a grudge match nowadays for Dudley Hill and Dragons. Dragons suffer their first defeat of the season.
I'm getting a phone. Can I answer this call live?
If you want, yeah, question.
Hello.
All right, mate.
All right, lad. You all right?
This is just a reminder that you're still fucking shite.
Ah.
Score scored 2. We went out at 10. You did absolutely fuck all. Oh my Dragons!
I'm bidding that off.
Let's have a quick look. I was saying Dragons had no fire. What is a Daniel Anderson? But I mean, Crespo, the difference from Woodard. Well played, Steve. No words needed. Actually, congratulations. Well done, Steve. I mean, a big deserved victory tonight. I mean, I'm going to look at this now. There's just 2 teams in the league who haven't won. That's Spartak and Sloss, who drew earlier tonight. And only the Devils and Lokomotiv Boston. Of course, it's Lokomotiv Boston who haven't been beat. That's absolutely. It makes for a really good league. And I mean, I'm not even going to dwell on anything else here because we're going to have a show on Sunday. But yeah, I hope everyone has had a really good Friday night show. We've actually been 15 minutes over schedule. Steve, any final words?
Yeah, I'd just like to say 2 teams that conceded a lot of goals last season out of 3 games have both got best defensive records in us and the Aggies boys. So yeah, that's the most pleasing thing about it.
And I mean, I feel like if I don't mention the fact that 5 years and Devils at the top of the table, he's just going to cry all fucking night. So 5 for you at the top of the table. Well done, mate.
Again.
Yay. Right, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you have a great evening, and I shall see you soon.